Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast host Cortez Paul.
Along with my co-host Paul Mack.
I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the Ball Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here. I know it's been a minute, but good to see everybody, listen to everybody. Of course, a familiar face over here to my right, Mr. Paul Mack. Good afternoon, sir. How's it going, my man?
We're back, bro. We made it. We survived. Work's been crazy. Life's been crazy, but NBA playoffs are here. Glad the Magic haven't given you a heart attack yet. You're alive. You're here, bro. And looks like we got a lot to talk about. Man. I was busy watching a lot of basketball, and it was WrestleMania weekend. So, I'm all geeked out on sports throughout the weekend. But best part about the playoffs is it just keeps rolling. We got basketball every night, baby.
It's beautiful, man. Like I said, I'm going to this barbecue after I record a podcast. Got my iPad charging, so I'll be tapping in some playoffs over there for sure. But as you mentioned, man, this playoffs kicked off. Always the first round is going to frenzy. It's crazy, man. But yeah, I get to the match stuff later, man. But y'all check out my podcast I recorded with Penny for Your Thoughts, Orlando Magic UK. I do got on our little tabs when me and Paul make guest appearances. I kind of add those podcasts to our playlist. So check that out. You'll see the doom and gloom, and then my mood we'll discuss later on. But here, man.
This guy went from sad boy summer to cutting some of the best WWE promos I've ever seen on the Detroit Pistons, bro. This guy's mood. I tell you, this guy is Cortez. Playoff Cortez is prime time. Playoff Cortez is prime time.
It's a different animal, man. I tell you. And I was literally, like he said, playing "Summertime Sadness" by Lana Del Rey. I was going through it, man. But we're back here. We're here, and all that. But hey, let's get into the first game, because Saturday and Sunday is always filled with games here. Before I get into the games, what's your thoughts about – I heard a lot of complaints with people talking about the games or the streaming services with Prime Video and all that. There was a lot of complaints about, like, bars not getting – what's your thoughts before we break the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I worked in a bar for a few years, and I don't know. Obviously, like, you have to usually have, like, cable contracts and stuff like that. So I don't know how – you find the loophole around that to get something like Amazon Prime or like legally. Like, I don't know how you like can do that, because obviously like you pay for sports and cable based off of like occupancy and number of TVs and all that stuff. So I don't know how there's a way around this. Like, obviously Prime has shelled out a lot of money to get these games. They had all the play-in games. They have almost the entire first round of the playoffs. Again, like I think a lot of that is just because like ESPN is occupied with some other stuff. Like, I know that they obviously they hosted WrestleMania this year, so they had that occupying the weekend. That was an all day thing. And then baseball. There's so much stuff going on, but yeah, man, it's weird now without like TNT being in the mix and only really having Peacock, ESPN, and Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously with Peacock, like the games are going to be on NBC regardless, so that's cool. But like, I don't know how I don't know how bars and stuff get around the Prime TV loophole. So if someone knows, feel free to let us know, because I'm super interested in how that works, because like you're gonna need a whole lot of like streaming devices and stuff, and I don't know, it just seems wild to me.
Yeah, I get the concern from the standpoint, but I know DirecTV, they do have a channel 9000 for Prime Video. So, I mean, that does help for a little bit. I don't know how too many people know that, but DirecTV and the satellite services do have that Prime Video channel. So I think because they do it for football, that's why they add it on there. So now they do it for basketball. I think the more concerns with like Peacock. But like you said, Paul, if NBC is going to show all the playoff games, basketball games, then NBC is fine. But during the regular season, Peacock was a challenge to get basketball games on. Pretty much they're streamed from Peacock, but you can't get on NBC because they're not. NBC is playing something else, their local programming. So now the playoffs, NBC is gonna be able to pick up those games. So it is concerning, but I think there's some way around it. But that's what a lot of people was mentioning about the whole streaming and.
Yeah, and I think most restaurants and bars use DirecTV anyways, so I guess that does make sense that they would have access to Prime. But yeah, I mean they're not missing out on money. You know, there's a way around it, and they're gonna figure it out.
No, for sure. And all your regulars just use their login. I didn't say that out loud.
That's it.
So the first game that happened was the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is the 5th seed and the 4th seed. The Cavaliers ended up winning 126 to 113. Donovan Mitchell dropped 32 points. Did you watch a little bit of this game, or highlights of this game?
I watched the first little bit. Toronto kept it close for a while. I mean, it is an interesting matchup, but I just think Cleveland's got way too much firepower, man. Like the Donovan Mitchell, James Harden are clicking on all cylinders, it seems like. And it's gonna be tough for the Raptors, man. Like I don't think we really thought Toronto was that good in the first place. Like I think their record and stuff, just I think of the teams that are here, I think they're one of the kind of the weaker seeds that we didn't feel like could do a lot of damage in the first round. But like I mean, they got Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, and Scotty Barnes all played really well. It's just you need they didn't have Emmanuel quickly. Obviously, that was huge. But you're gonna need everybody to step up against Cleveland. Cleveland has firepower, and it's just one of those. They've been there before. They've made some runs the past few years, so it's just like they have the pedigree, I think. And adding James Harden only makes them probably better than they've been. Obviously, they're healthy now. Max Strus is back. And you see that immediately on the defensive end and just his energy. They're a big team, with Mobley and Jared Allen. So it's a rough draw for Toronto, but I think Toronto, if quickly gets back, like they might be able to steal one, but I don't see it really going too deep.
Yeah, I guess there was a big kind of harp out of Toronto media that they have Brandon Ingram setting screens, and you need him to be a scorer. But then I really understand that one. So there's a lot of harp about that. And then, like you said, Jacob Porter, really good big man, can rebound. Well, you go against Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. That just negate, Jakob Poeltl, just his effectiveness on the boards and whatnot. But you're looking at this here, and then Matt Strus went off. Mm-hmm. I mean, Matt Strus was like 8 for 10 and 4 for 6 from 3-point line. Cleveland as a team shot 50% from the 3-point line. So they wasn't missing that much. And once they get on a run like that, and then able to kind of, if you try to make a run like Toronto got close a few times, but Cleveland just seemed like they were just in cruise control. Just from the whole point, just looking at this and everything like that. But I just wonder, like you said, with quickly, you need someone to kind of get into the bank and break down the defense, so that way you have people that cut like Scotty Barnes, and you got Jamal Shedden, CMB, who's a good slasher. But just too much size. Just felt like this was not the right matchup for Toronto, even though Toronto has a great season. Paul mentioned potentially maybe they overachieve for a little bit. But I don't really see this. Toronto might get one game in Toronto, but for the most part, this series is not going to be competitive.
I think Cleveland is just like they're the most like first round ready team. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna typically skate through the first round, and then we'll see how it gets as the playoffs go on. Obviously, the last few years they kind of get banged up as the postseason goes on because they don't deal with a whole lot of injuries throughout the regular season. Obviously, Jared Allen missed some time, but like it's just they need a series to kind of drag out to kind of catch Cleveland, and if Cleveland can just keep their foot on the gas the whole time, like they're fine. I'm not worried about Cleveland
for sure. We go to the next Sunday game or Saturday game. This was the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. This one has potential to go the distance. This is going to be a really fun series. I know Denver ended up getting in control here, but what you thought about this game, man? Jamal Murray went off, huh?
Playoff Jamal Murray, man. Like I know Jokic gets his flowers a lot, but Jamal Murray, man. I mean, he shot 22 shots, but he's just a guy that he's just a clutch guy in the postseason, and he's proven it, year in and year out. I mean, honestly, he lived at the free throw line, bro. Like, if you keep him off the free throw line, it's a different game. He was 16 to 16 from the free throw line.
Crazy,
He
right?
shot 7 for 22. So I mean, it's not like, oh, Jamal Murray went off. Like, he just got to the foul line. It's just discipline and don't foul, And I know Minnesota's a physical team and they rely on their physicality. And it's just one of those. It's just kudos to a team like Denver, and you see it with a lot of these other teams too. Like these just seasoned, poised teams, like they want to get you in the penalty early in a quarter, and then they just live at the free throw line. Because like if you can't play physical defense, if you can't be physical, and the refs start calling games tight, like you're just giving away free points. And I think we've seen it kind of all weekend in certain games where like guys just living on the foul line. And I know the NBA is kind of calling fouls a little differently this year. Like usually we're used to the playoffs being a little more physical, but 16 free throws is rough, man. Like, I mean, if he gets half of those, it's a different game, Oh,
100%. That's why I was looking at this too. And Anthony Edwards is playing a little bit of a sore knee. And he still had 22 points. This series is fun, man. Since the 22 and 23 season, the Nuggets lead in regular season playoff 15-14. And both have won a playoff series against each other during that stretch. So it's definitely a fun matchup. It was I think Jay McDaniels shoved Jokic in the back, and Aaron Gordon ran up on him and stuff like that. So there's no love lost between these.
Yeah, it's already real chippy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I expect this series. I mean, I think it'll go six.
Minnesota is just the weirdest team, bro. Because I feel like Minnesota on any night can beat anyone. But then we've seen in the regular season they lose to the Magic by 40. You know what I'm saying? Like they can either beat anyone or lose to anyone. So it's like it's just a matter of which Timberwolves team shows up. And obviously, like against Denver, they have to show up every night. You can't have nights off. Obviously, Denver got one at home, which we probably expect game one. But if Ant gets healthier throughout the series, and that 22 points becomes 25, becomes 28, becomes 30, like then we'll have a series. But they're going to need every bit of Julius Randle. They're going to need DiVincenzo to step
up. Who had a big game, by the way.
Yeah, you're going to need that. You're going to need Ayo Dosunmu to step up. You're going to need bench scoring. Like Bones Highland was 0 for 3. Like he needs to be more aggressive. He's a guy. He's kind of a fire starter off the bench for them, and if he's not getting going, that's rough. Guys like Naz Reid, like you just need these kind of guys to step up. I think if those guys can get close to double figures, like it's a whole different series. But the bench has to be a lot more aggressive. They can't rely on Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards to do all the lifting, and then obviously like Jaden McDaniels can come in every once in a while and put it up, but I think the Timberwolves go as their bench goes, and like you bring in a guy like Ayo for this he lengthens your rotation. He plays a lot of minutes. He's a good defender. He's a great scorer. So it's like if he can keep Denver on their heels while you're resting some of the lineup, but it's just you just got to keep him off the foul line. You just got to play disciplined defense. That's the message of that game, is just Minnesota's got to be disciplined against Denver. Denver is too methodical. They've been here before, and like they want you to dirty up the game a little bit, because Jokic, man, I feel like when people start taking shots at Jokic, he just gets pissed off and there's turns a whole other level. But you're not going to win a lot of games when a guy goes 16 for 16 from the foul line. When you give it away 16 free points, like that's rough for anyone to really come back from.
Yeah. And Rudy Gobert had a pretty good game too. He had a double-double. He was effective a little bit, definitely defending the paint and stuff like that. So, I mean, Joker's going to pop off. Like, I mean, even that, like initially he did go off in the second half because it was like a little bit of a slow start for him a little bit. And he just kind of caught on and ended up with 25 points.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's getting his no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like, me personally, that was a good sub that they bring Mike Conley in a little bit later into the game in the second half. They kind of slowed things down because they got where it got really sloppy, kept turning the ball in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Dante is not your original point guard, and Anthony Edwards going to handle the ball a lot. I know they try to do Kyle Anderson, so maybe they need to use like Kyle Anderson playmaking ability a little bit more. They're going to play him. Joe Ingles, if he's still able to move and not be a corpse, he can also play make. But it's like these are your tall guys that can be able to create as well if you need to get Anthony Edwards a breather, and especially with the knee and stuff like that. But Anthony Edwards was healthy, man. This series will go the distance, but I think it just goes 6, and it's going towards the Denver Nuggets here. So fun series, though. This is a fun series. They don't like each other. There's a little bit of just, like you said, chippiness already in game 1. So it's fun to see where this go here. Next game was the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks. New York Knicks ended up pulling that game 113-102. Atlanta, and I'm before you get into this, but I want to ask you this question. Would you break this down? Atlanta set their starters for the last home game of the season, and they seem to want to play the Knicks. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I think, and we'll cover this more too, like when we get into Orlando, right? I think, and this, like basketball is a lot about matchups, right? Like I really think that the Hawks feel like they match up against New York better than if they were to go against Boston or Cleveland.
It would have been Cleveland.
Because of the ability to shoot and stuff like that. Like it's just like you want to avoid those teams. Like the Knicks aren't a high volume 3-point shooting team. The only downfall really is the Knicks in the half court. Like the Knicks are more of a half court offense, and like they'll keep you in the half court on defense. They have great defenders, and the Hawks can't get out and run in transition against them. They're really good defensive rebounders. Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart had 14 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson's big rebounder. So it's like those are the things. If you take that away from Atlanta, and Jalen Johnson's not out there, starting to break every missed shot, because that guy is a stat stuffer. I mean, I've seen him a few times this year, but being able to watch him now, like that guy has his hands in every play. Mm-hmm. Like that kid is going to be really, really good. And, Dyson Daniels is really good as well. But like, again, he creates offense off causing turnovers. So if you're taking care of the ball, but it's just, the Knicks are clicking right now, and it's the right time of year to start clicking. Obviously, Jalen Brunson took that game over in the first quarter. He dropped 21 in the first quarter. He set the tone to start the game, and then Karl Anthony Towns set the tone in the second half. And it's just when that's happening, and Brunson can kind of take those moments off and be more of a facilitator, and you can and obviously the difference too is you're coming from Tom Thibodeau to Mike Brown, and it's the rotation, man. The amount of guys that we're running and the minutes that we're putting out there is really impressive. And we're getting a lot of production from our bench guys, and they're putting in quality minutes. I mean, Deuce played over 20 minutes. Mitch played almost 15. Shamet played 17. Jordan Clarkson put in a strong 12. Like, I mean, this isn't something we didn't have last year. Our starters were playing almost the whole fucking game, and you saw it late in the postseason. Those guys were gassed. They were hurt.
Yeah.
So being able to have the confidence in the rotation to be able to have those guys, to have, 4 bench guys play 15 minutes or more is huge. And I think Deuce has really like earned that trust. He's become a pretty solid perimeter defender. He hit some big threes. But they're going to need every bit of that. Like they are a different team than they were last year because they have the confidence in the second unit that they didn't have last year. So I think Atlanta got a little, and as a Knicks fan, like obviously we have a natural hatred for Atlanta over the last few years. Obviously they don't have Trae Young anymore. But fuck Trae Young. It is what it is, man. Like you think you want something until you have it, and you realize, I don't think we necessarily want this. I think we made a bad choice.
I think so too, and the reason I say that is, and I like that y'all started going through Carter Towns in the second half because there's a mismatch that y'all can expose there. I feel like Conway was small to guard him.
They're not very big. Yeah, the Hawks are not very big.
They're not big, so Carter Towns should be eating this series. Like, Jalen Brunson, do what you need to do, but you need to go ahead and use, like, Carter Towns. OG Anunoby, I think he rolled his ankle, but he's seen okay, so hopefully it's nothing serious with him. And then I feel like, y'all got people that can neutralize, Nickeil Alexander Walker, who's been taken off, like, the second part of the season once Trae Young got traded. Like, he's been fantastic, but you can't get on the run and the Knicks play slow. That's not what Atlanta want to do. So, but I listen, I know they match up horrible with the Cavs. Like Jalen Johnson struggled against the Cavs. Like, he does not do well. And with all that size they have in there, I get it. Like, but what you thought about them hacking Mitchell Robinson too?
We're still doing that, bro. You know what I mean? We're still doing this. I mean, whatever.
But
I mean, whatever works for you, man. You know what I mean? Whatever. No. That's the thing is you want to get Mitch off the court, but it's like Josh Hart is still out rebounding y'all. Karl Anthony Towns is crashing the boards. Like it doesn't. You know what I mean? You're not doing yourself any favors.
But hey, here's what Mike Brown did. What I thought was excellent. The start of the fourth quarter, he put Mitchell Robinson back in. Go ahead and do your fouls there and get a penalty. I dare you to go ahead and foul him again. So I was like, okay, take him out here, which he did. I like, good job. And then when I saw him I said, put him back in. Go ahead, you make it sure you go ahead and get in the penalty. So that way Jalen Brunson go ahead and get to the free throw line whenever you want him to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good job. So, but this game was pretty much in control, man. At one point, y'all was up 106-87. And then Atlanta went on 11-0 run, like a little sympathy run that I said. And I was like, this game was in control pretty much. So I was like,
it's not as close as the score indicates, honestly.
No, that's why I saw the final score, and I watched the second half. I'm like testing my body, like the Knicks got this game here. I feel like they got the series too. Like Atlanta might get one, potentially two, but I don't. And even if it's that, because James Johnson just go nuclear, y'all should still win this at least in like 6. 5. Like I just don't see this being they set their starters and thought this would be a sweet matchup. No. You got little Jalen Brunson, who is a dog, and then you got OG Anunoby that can, as long as his ankle's okay, he still can guard Jalen Johnson pretty well. So like, you got bodies. Mikal Bridges, he didn't really go off too much, but he's good for a game where he's gonna go off. So
we're definitely in a good spot, I think.
Yeah, I think y'all be all right. All right, the next game. This is the final game that was on. And we'll briefly talk about this. The Lakers.
This is interesting.
So Kevin Durant, before the game, was declared out.
Late scratch.
Late scratch. This was a team the Lakers already missing Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. So so it became the Alperen Sengun show, which was not impressive. Reed Shepherd show.
It's probably what you want, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, Reed Shepherd 6 for 20. Alperen Sengun was 6 for 19. Jabari Smith was 5 for 14. This team shot 37%. You're not winning a lot of ball games shooting 37% and 33% from the three-point line. 68% from the free throw line, too. They just was not hitting shots, dude. KD and Fred VanVleet really do carry this team in scoring. Thoughts about this, LA? Got this one. LeBron, this game, I'm not gonna lie, this game was pretty boring. It felt like a regular season game.
It's funny because LeBron's going to get all of the, all the praise for the game he had. I mean, he almost had a triple double. But like, shout out Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard, 5 for 5, 3. That dude was cooking. But go ahead, bro.
38 minutes, 9 of 13, 5 of 5 from 3. Every time they needed a shot, it seemed like he was the guy that hit the shot. Mm-hmm. Like it was really crazy. Like LeBron had 13 assists. I mean, he was willing to pass. His guys were hitting shots. You can see how different the Lakers are when like LeBron has confidence in everybody else. I mean, it was really impressive. Like Rui Hachimura played 41 minutes. Yeah, like you got big minutes out of Rui. DeAndre Ayton, yeah, he's had a couple good games, and I think he matches up well against Houston. They're not super big either. Like Şengün is kind of undersized, but he was eating on the glass. A lot of second chance points, but like when you look at the depth chart, I mean, it was really just like 5 guys for the Lakers that really held it down. But it's just when you're shooting at such a high clip, like the Lakers couldn't miss, and like you said, Houston couldn't hit a shot. Yeah, so that's really the difference, right? Like you got to think, like, is that going to be sustainable? Like, is this Lakers offense, is this sustainable? Because they had a lot of turnovers too. Like it was kind of ugly, but they just couldn't miss. You know what I mean? Like they were just hitting everything they threw up. And like I know there are a lot of people who feel like Houston's kind of fraudulent. Mm-hmm. Like they're not as good as the rankings and the schedule and the placement and everything shows them to be. I feel like if there is a higher seed that can get got, it's probably the Houston Rockets. And like there's a lot of talk about like if they lose to the Lakers, like do you blow that team up already? And I know they've had a lot of hype coming into the season. They're getting Kevin Durant, and obviously they thought they'd have Fred VanVleet, but he's not here. Udoka's kind of under fire a little bit. It's really tough, man. I imagine it's very hard to play with all that going on, and obviously Kevin Durant's a guy who I think led the league in minutes played this year. He has a lot of mileage on him this year, and he's clearly the guy that even at his age, he's the guy when you need a shot, when Houston needs a shot maker, like he's the guy you're going to go to, and not having him out there, like you can see the difference. I mean, that's easily 20 points you're missing out on, him not being in the lineup. And like Reed Shepherd stepped up obviously, but like normally if you have KD, like Reed Shepherd's still going to get you 12 to 15. So it's like you're still at a negative. But like the Lakers, man, it's scary because like Luka could be back by like game 5. So if the Lakers can just kind of stick around, maybe steal one more.
Yeah.
It can get interesting.
I just wonder with that, you get obviously I'm pretty sure Katie will be back for the next game and see how that looks out. I think this Houston team will be interesting if they have Fred VanVleet and Kevin Durant, because those are your 2 bucket getters. So next year with them, it would be pretty interesting if they're healthy. And you can't get a bucket, like I just wonder how that's going to pan out. Like the Lakers defense is really that good. I think Lakers got a good defense, but I just feel like they not make a shot.
Their offense without KD is different. It's a very like predictable offense. You know what I mean? There's no one that can really create. Because even Reed Shepherd, he had some deep threes. Like it was just one of those. He earned every bit of those points. Mm-hmm. And I really think that like the Lakers like making the adjustments of like starting Rui, you got Ayton. LeBron's they were big. They had a big body lineup out there for most of the game. I think that just kind of gave Houston fits because like they were contesting every shot. Like every shot was essentially a hand in the face. Houston didn't get a lot of open shots. And similar to like we talked about before, like if you can't make a shot, bro,
Yeah.
You could easily just shoot yourself out of the game, and Houston kind of like every time the Lakers kind of got up 12, 14, like there'd be a couple minutes where like Houston would knock it down to like 5 or 6, but they could never get it below that. And then the Lakers go on another run, they're up double figures again. Houston spent so much energy playing from behind that that game was pretty much over with at halftime. I feel like once it was happening, Lakers going to fucking win this game.
Yeah, I think Lakers win this series too. I just don't see nothing from the right that can missing their 2 stars and feed DeAndre Ayton. If he's gonna give you that, whenever I tell you, when he's engaged, he's a talent. So if he's gonna play like that and be engaged and give you a double throughout the series, I just don't see it. And Saguna is not the best defender in the world anyway, so expose that.
Yeah.
So all right, let's move on to Sunday's games, and 3 out of 4 we'll talk about very quickly. They was blowouts. The first game, the 76ers and the Celtics, that was 123-91. From the jump, I watched this game for like a little bit, and then I'm just like, this is already over by like quarter 2. Well, I'm looking at it here, and like you looking at Philly score 18 the first quarter, 28, and then Boston had scored in the first 3 quarters, 30 points, 33, 31, 31. The lead changes 0. Ties time.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
It was at 0 when it was tied. So
You know what, man? Listen. Philly did this to themselves. Philly deserves this. They deserve every last one of those points that Boston scored on their heads. They're out here, we want Boston after they beat Orlando. Y'all want Boston? Do y'all really want Boston? Do y'all really want? You put this all upon yourselves. You fucking started chanting. You started doing all this stuff. Y'all were so happy that you get to play the Celtics. Hope you enjoy these next 3 games, because your ass is gonna be back in Philly real quick.
I don't think this will be. They won't get a game. This series will be interesting if they had Embiid. They won't. They don't have Embiid, so I don't. This will be over in like 4 games.
Yeah, it's not going to be close. It's not going to be close. And like Boston didn't even play like their best either. You know what I mean?
No.
And they still won by 30. Like the matchup is terrible. Like they're gonna. Jason Tatum is gonna have his way with this team. Jaylen Brown. They're gonna shoot threes, and Philly doesn't have the firepower to compete. And without Embiid, without a dominant guy that can anchor your offense that you can kind of go to, they just got to keep Maxey out of the paint, and they'll be fine. Paul George is going to have to look like, 2018 Paul George, and I just don't think that's going to happen.
No, the halftime deficit was their largest in a playoff game since 1982. Nick Nurse said it was completely unacceptable with the effort that was shown here. Listen, Boston, they start going these shot makings and threes, and it's deflating, man. I played them in the series. They do a flurry of threes, and it's just frustrating because they can hit you like 5 or 6 threes, and it's like, well, game over.
Yeah, they can literally put up 15 points in like a minute and a half, and then you're just done.
Yeah, they're just stupid with the shooting. So,
and the best part is too, like I hate both these teams with all my heart. Every ounce of my being, I hate both teams, but I love Boston mocking Philly with the "We Want Boston" chants at the end of the game. When
the fans was great. Yes,
like I love that so much.
I love it. Kudos to the Celtics.
Kudos to y'all, but but Philly fucked up.
Yeah, now this is going to be a sweep. I don't see if Embiid was playing, I'd be interested in this, but yeah, this is not going to be well. All right, so the next game that happened was the Suns and the Thunder. Once again, 119-84. Cool for the Suns getting there. I really thought Golden State would have been an interesting matchup just from the standpoint Steph Curry going nuclear. Dylan Brooks took 22 shots and made 6. Was just jacking up shots. This is a firepower team that, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't even have the best game.
No,
he went to the free throw line 17 times.
Yeah.
Which everybody was talking about, like, man, SGA 17 fucking free throw attempts, like nuts. But I mean, honestly, it wouldn't matter.
Chet Holmgren had a huge first half, like, and I think this has kind of been the theme all year is like the Thunder's offense is just efficient.
Mm-hmm.
They just play very efficient offense, and like they can knock down the three, but it's like it's almost they use Shea and these guys to kind of penetrate and break you down and kick out to a three. It's not a huge part of their offense, and Chet can knock it down obviously, and if they can get him going early, I don't think the bigs for Phoenix want to be out on the perimeter running around with Chet Holmgren, whether it be Mark Williams or Oso Ighodaro or whoever it is. It's just a really bad matchup, man. And like Phoenix, I think at this point is just they're happy to be here.
Yeah.
They went through it and they got out of the play-in, but I think Portland really showed us who Phoenix was. And like obviously Golden State at this point is just, we were asking for a lot for Golden State to come out of that game, but
won't happen, yeah.
Phoenix, man, get yourself a nice little postcard, or I don't know what there is to do in Oklahoma City. Just get some merchandise, get some souvenirs, but enjoy your time.
So this is the third year that OKC is the top seed in the Western Conference. 2 seasons ago, Oklahoma City beat the New Orleans Pelicans 94-92 in Game 1. Last year, they beat the Thunder 131-80 in Game 1. They way to the title, and they stumped the Phoenix Suns 119-84. So it seemed to be a common theme that they just lay the wood on these teams in the first Game 1, except for the Pelicans. But Jesus, man, Thunder's
the Thunder is a team too. Like they leave no doubt that they're gonna beat who they're supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's the difference between a lot of these teams. There's a few of them in the playoffs right now, but it's like the Thunder are gonna beat who they're supposed to beat. There's no taking a game off. There's no like, oh, they might let them get one. Like if they're gonna stomp you, they're gonna stomp you.
Yeah,
and that's kind of been their MO the last few years is they're going to put their foot on your neck and they are not going to let up. And you're going to have to like just outshoot them, I guess. Keep Shea off the free throw line, which is tough because like you don't have the defenders or the length to do that.
Impossible.
Yeah, you need a lot of length to be able to do it and really good perimeter defense. And Phoenix doesn't have either of those things. Because you're just going to get Dylan Brooks in foul trouble trying to run around with him, and it's at that point he's your second best player.
Mm-hmm.
Although Jalen Green's been playing really well, but I just don't think if Jalen Green is your leading scorer, I don't think you're going to win a lot of basketball games. You know what I mean?
No.
Like Devin Booker needs to show up. I don't know what he's doing, but if he's the franchise guy, he's got to show up and kind of go toe to toe with Shea, but. This is 4 and out.
Yeah, we didn't expect Phoenix even to be here.
Right.
So just kudos for their season, but this is a Goliath that you're facing against, man. Oklahoma City is built different, man. So, all right, to the third game of the night, we had the Orlando Magic play against the Detroit Pistons. They end up pulling out the game 112-101. Paul, if I break it down, what's your thoughts about this game?
I was going to say, before you go, because I know you got a lot to say. And we have limited time. I know you have a lot to say, but I will say this. I am on the conspiracy theory that Orlando wanted this the whole time. Whether they win this series or not, I think when you look at the matchups, and obviously like they almost put you in the hospital on their way here, they match up so well against the Detroit Pistons at 100% health, mind you. Remember, they haven't been healthy all year, and we all have the coulda, woulda, shouldas about the Magic season. Suggs was in and out. Anthony Black was hurt. Franz missed a shit ton of games. We questioned Paolo at times. We questioned the chemistry, the coaching, all this stuff. But when you look at those top seeds in the East, the one thing they all have over Orlando is they all can shoot. They are all 3-point heavy teams. Cleveland, Boston, those teams that they could have played, and Detroit is not a 3-point shooting team. they are a physical team. Orlando is very physical, very big. Especially when you get Goga out there and you get a lot of these rotating big men out there they could throw out there. And you saw it. You kind of saw it last night, right? They start hitting the three. Like Paolo made some threes, Franz made some threes. So they start hitting some threes. You're in big trouble. And I just think that this matchup for them is ideal. Now, mind you, like obviously there's like history with Detroit. They've lost 11 consecutive home playoff games, and there's all this stuff out there about whatever. But I just feel like if you're Orlando and you kind of saw it click versus Charlotte, like they were just like, we're just gonna fucking be physical with you. We're gonna rough y'all up, and we're gonna make y'all like early on. We're gonna assert dominance, and they did the same thing tonight or last night. They did the same thing. They literally were physical from the jump. They were on them early, and they really never let up. Like Cade had a huge fourth quarter, but like they got in the penalty. He shot some free throws. Like this is another one of those games. I don't think it was as close as the score even shows. Like this could easily have been a 20-point win. Mm-hmm. Like y'all were on them the whole game. Anytime they had a run, y'all had an answer. Everyone looked good. Everyone was clicking. Tristan Da Silva played decent minutes off the bench. Anthony Black seems healthy for the first time in a really long time. Jalen Suggs kind of got y'all going early, had like 11 points real early in the game, kind of was that fire starter that I know y'all expect him to be, mm-hmm. and he just kind of disappears at times. But, Paolo and Franz, showed up, did what they're supposed to do. Wendell Carter just being a real physical presence in the middle. Jalen Duren did absolutely nothing.
I'm surprised because he always kills us.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was the aggressiveness. I don't know what it was. I mean, he only took 4 shots. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't know if that's because like y'all just got out to an early lead and he's just ineffective because, like, he has to work so hard to get a bucket, and a lot of times it's Cade's penetration, it frees up the basket to get during a dunk or something. But like, they couldn't hit anything. Like Tobias Harris couldn't score. Thompson couldn't really get much going. It just, the defense was so good. And I know this was something last year that y'all really took pride in, was your defense, and it hasn't been there all year because again, you haven't been 100%. Mm-hmm. But when you have the guys out there that are supposed to be out there, and now you add a Desmond Bane, who is a really good perimeter defender, he can, and he's a feisty guy too, man. I think the Magic need a guy like that. Like anytime there's a scuffle or something, Desmond Bane's always around. That guy is always in the mix, and he just gives you that other scorer as well. And I was impressed. Like I also thought that this is what the Magic wanted the whole time, and all this stuff was just a facade. They were just doing this. I'm not saying y'all tanking on purpose, but I think when you look at the road in the postseason, you essentially avoid Boston until the Eastern Conference Finals if you go this route.
Yeah.
And I just think that they look at the matchups and they think we match up really well against Detroit. And then whoever comes out of the Knicks and Hawks, we probably match up pretty well against them too. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you kind of avoid the really good shooting teams, and you just got to just play Magic basketball. And they're in a position now where Detroit took a shot to the nose. How are they going to respond?
Yeah, fair enough, man. Orlando, this is what I've been telling people, and I tapped out at game 83 because I'm like, you know what, I'm just over it. You don't want to show the effort. You got the bodies back. I know it takes time to get into the groove. Yeah, you know what, y'all over it. I'm over it. But this is why I wanted to see them play a series when they was healthy. Like, I just want to say, just get to the playoffs. Get to the playoffs. Franz has missed with a high sprained ankle. We also miss AB. Jonathan Isaac's close to coming back. So, like, for the first time in a long time, like, we got a team that's healthy. I do feel like we do match up well with Detroit. So when people initially come out saying, like, oh, Detroit's going to sweep us, no. It was a series split. I know K missed one game and Franz missed the other. But these two teams don't like each other. There's a history there. Listen to a podcast. The coaches don't talk to each other during the podcast, and they're the best of friends. But Apollo, I tell you this, and I feel like I hear your conspiracy theories there, and that's cool. I do feel like that. I do feel like that this team took some disrespect. There was a lot for 48 hours. The city of Orlando, the fan base, the team, Paulo. There was a lot of criticism that came their way, and I was like, man, like at some point I was like, man, Charlotte's gonna win this game. And I was like, you know what? Screw that. No, the way y'all been running y'all mouth, it was a great response. So great response going forward. They played the Pistons. They match up very well with them. Desmond Bane had an illness, so I don't think Desmond Bane shoot that bad again. So it'd be fun to see how this team click. But Franz came through the fourth quarter, had a great fourth quarter. So I'm just really interested to see how this matchup is going to go. And that's what I said about K. K is the only one on offense. Jalen Durden just has his moments, but they need another score with K for them to really make that jump. And it really holds off, man. So super proud of Orlando. You can play this video.
And I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know, Tito Tez is back, baby. Tito Tez is back. He was out for a little bit, but he's rested up and he's excited, and now he's cutting videos like this on the internet.
Detroit basketball! Yo, bombs! I got a whole bunch of flavor up there. I told y'all it's not sweet around here. I heard you won again. Game 1, go to the Magic. In your place.
We're the first team that wasn't a favorite that won. That's right. And that means we're winning this series.
Detroit, y'all some bombs.
Fuck them picks, man.
Detroit, y'all some bombs. Boogeyman ain't y'all alive. Paulo ain't y'all alive. Y'all not ready. BTA! Let's go! Woo!
Oh man, I love it so much.
Who is that guy?
That's playoff Cortez, baby. He's back.
So I got on the videos like that for Cleveland. I got a video like that for Boston. So it just comes out. Playoff intensity just makes me go to another level, and I'm here for it, man. But a good start for the Magic. Great stuff. So
and you made it on TV again, pal.
Yes. I made it on TV. So it's been a good run here the last few weeks. So I think it's been a good omen. So see how this goes. Detroit is still a fantastic team. I don't want to take anything away from them. I don't think this series is over by a long shot. I think Detroit do have some talent, and they're going to come back and adjust. But Orlando do match up well with them, and I'm glad people see that Orlando do match up well with them. So the last game we're going to cover, once again, this be pretty quick. You know what? Not really. But the Trailblazers and the Spurs, 111-98. I'm waiting. Denny had 30 points, but he's going to win the game, dude.
Yeah,
I think he's going to win the game.
They'll get one.
I think they're gonna get one.
They're another team. Like, they did not shoot the ball well at all.
Yeah, he was the only one. He's literally the only one. So if he gets a little bit of help,
and he only shot 6 free throws. Like, that's gonna go up.
Yeah. Denny Avia had 30 points, 10 rebounds, double. But you look at the rest of it, like Kamara 28%, Klingon 28%. Scoot Henderson had a decent game, but that was really it. But
yeah, you need more out of Drew Holiday. You need more out of Drew Holiday.
But Victor Wembanyama, playoff debut. What'd you think about his debut?
He's not real, bro. That guy's not real. Like,
Tim Duncan was super impressed.
When he starts hitting threes, the way he's able to just like handle the ball at the top of the key and isolate. Like, he dribbled into the corner and shot like a fading three. Just, I don't know, man. And then, like, I think people get so, like, their minds are blown by Wemby that you don't realize how good, like, Stephen Castle is.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Devin Vassell, Dylan Harper, he's due to have a really big game. I think he's a really good scorer off the bench for them. But their defense, their guards play really good defense. And that's the problem, is, like, if you could keep Denny, like you're gonna win most games if this is the stat sheet. If it's just Denny scores 30 and then it's just 2 for 7, 2 for 7, 4 for 15, 1 for 3, 5. Like, you don't stand a fucking chance.
No.
And Portland, again, they're not, aside from like Kamara, obviously Drew Holiday can get going, but they're not a really good shooting team. So like Denny himself, like even Denny's not a he's not a great 3-point shooter. Mm-hmm. He's more of a drives. He's at 6'8". He's more of a get in the paint, drive the lane, draw contact.
Use his size.
Yeah, but if they're not hitting threes, and obviously their most experienced player is Drew Holiday, but like even at his age now, you can't expect him to be kind of a catalyst for it. He has to just kind of be there to support Denny throughout this series. But Wemby's a problem. It just seemed like the guards got wherever they wanted to get to on offense too. Like Castle was anywhere he wanted to go. There was a stretch in the third quarter. Devin Vassell hit like 8 or 9 straight points. Like it's just the guards just dominated that game. And then they were able to. Luke Cornett played really well in minutes where Wemby wasn't out. I mean, he scored over 10.
Yeah.
So it's like if they're able to rest Wemby in these short little spurts, every 2-3 minutes, get him back out there, like Portland's in big trouble. But they could steal one.
Nah, for sure. I love to see this series would have been if they had Damian Lillard because he can shoot. Right. So would have been a fun series. But yeah, this gonna be Denny Abbott gonna get one. I know he's gonna get one for sure. All right, I know we got to wrap it up here soon. 3 games tonight. You got the Raptors, Cavs. Who you got winning that game?
I'm gonna take Cleveland. I think if Toronto's gonna win one, it's gonna be in Toronto. I think Toronto can get one at home, but not on the road.
I'm with you. Cleveland is gonna win in dominant fashion. The Hawks and the Knicks. Your boys.
I think Knicks get this one. Yeah, Knicks 2-0.
Yep, Knicks 2-0. Timberwolves Nuggets is your late time primetime game.
I think Minnesota gets them back. I think it's a get back from Minnesota. I think Minnesota gets them back. I expect Anthony Edwards to be on one tonight. I think he gets close to 30. And that's I think the bench. I think Naz Reid steps up a little bit in big minutes. It's just keep Jamal Murray off the free throw line. Like I said, it's a different game. Yeah. I think if you just stop with the fouling, play disciplined defense. Let DiVincenzo do what he's been doing, and utilize Mike Conley, utilize the vet, let him kind of control the pace of that game. Denver's going to want to get out and run, and you have to just utilize the tools that you have. I think Bones Highland is going to do a lot better than 0 for 3. I think he might hit some buckets for him. But I think Minnesota gets him back.
Nice, man. All right. Wait, we'll wrap this bad boy up. I know Paul's got to be in somewhere in a few minutes. So, hey, make sure y'all stay tuned for us. We'll get some more NBA content out this week. Follow the podcast page. You can follow me at @CP. Paul, you can follow you at where?
I'm on X at @the_Paul_Mac, and I'm on Instagram at @thepaulmac520. And NFL draft on Thursday?
Yeah. We got to figure out a streaming for that. So, and when I get off work, maybe I can get CJ. We'll get in the group chat and try to get something set up.
Yeah, he's our draft expert. He knows more about college football than both of us.
Absolutely. So we'll get him in there. But yeah, podcast page. You can get everything else. BOC Podcast at TikTok, YouTube, Balls Not Court Podcast. Give us a like, comment, shout there. Where you heard us before, you can just download the episode there. iTunes, TuneIn Radio, everything else. Once again, we do thank you guys for listening. And happy NBA playoff season, man. Let's go.
If the Magic beat Detroit, I'm making a Cortez wrestling shirt, bro. We're doing it. I'm gonna sell it out of my trunk of my car.
Everybody wants to.
So if you live in Orlando and you want Cortez's face on a shirt,
they're already trying to do the whole General Tito's one, so that's a thing too.
That's it.
So.
We're doing it, baby. We're doing it.
All right, guys. Sign up for Paul, Max, Cortez, Paul. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.